I'm about to sign off for the evening, but I've got one more thing to say about driving. Just one more little bit of information for you about changing something about your drive. If you are changing something about your drive, for let's just say you've got a new instructor and they're trying to teach you a new method, or your parents have taught you something that is outdated, and your instructor is teaching you something like new, and you're trying to do it that way, then the best thing that you need to do is see the benefit in the changes that you're making. You need to see the benefit. You need to fall in love with the new way. You need to look at it and be like, this is so much better. It feels better. It's smoother. I feel safer. I can see how it benefits the safety of others. It's just the car's responding beautifully. You need to see all the benefits in it. Because if you can see the benefits, if you can fall in love with it, if you can see that it's better, then you're going to want to do it again. If you can't find those things in the new thing that you're doing, it's unlikely that you're going to do it. So, for example, if you are using your knife and fork the wrong way, right? We all technically know that we're supposed to hold the fork in the left hand and cut with the right. Okay, it's just society norms. Okay, but let's just say you learnt it the other way around. One of my students actually does it the other way around, so I can't use this analogy with him. But anyway, if somebody comes in and sees that you're eating the wrong way around, that person would say, oh, you've actually got your knife and fork the wrong way. You're supposed to have the fork in the left hand and the knife in the right hand, because that's technically correct and that's how you're supposed to eat. And the person will be like, oh, I see. Like, well, everybody's doing it this way. And they'll be like, yeah, like, if you go out for dinner and stuff, like, you kind of need to do it like the other way around, really, if you go to a posh restaurant or something. Oh, okay. Now, this person, if they're not really hungry and they're not starving, which I'll come up with in a minute to match the analogy, but if they are not starving, they are going to attempt to do it the correct way. Okay, they'll hold it in the other hand, and it will be a lot of effort, and they'll be thinking about it and trying to change it. However, if that person is starving, very hungry, they'll revert back to their way of doing it because they can feed themselves and they don't give a damn about the new way. Okay, now the reason why I'm using that analogy is because when you're teaching somebody to drive and you're attempting to change something about their drive, let's just pick going through your gears down. Okay, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is unnecessary. We can block gear change. If I am teaching somebody to change this, okay, and I'm teaching them to go down the gears, that is going to be a lot of effort and very different. Now, I don't want to make this too much about the actual fault, but a lot of the time, if people are going 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, they're actually doing it incorrectly anyway, because they don't lift their clutch up in between each gear change. So they're not actually using engine braking anyway. So they just put the clutch down and then they just go through all their gears, which is completely pointless, because when the clutch is down, you are actually in neutral anyway. So you've just done this with your gear stick and like nothing's happened. So you may as well have just blocked gear change down anyway. But when I am teaching that for the first time and I'm trying to get them to rely on their brakes, so the brake lights are on, we're slowing the car down, and then we do a block gear change. When the road is quiet, when there isn't too many hazards, then we can learn it and do it. If something out of the woodwork comes quickly, or there is some kind of faster situation, or something that the student wasn't expecting, or something like that, or whatever, they will revert back to what they know because it works. They can feed themselves with it. It works. It's all right. I don't care about your method. I know what I do and it works. Yeah. So what we have to do is we have to very carefully shine a light on the new way and how brilliant it is. Talk about all the benefits, about how it's safer for the person behind to have the brake lights on. Talk about how it's going to save money, so that when you use the brake pads, it's going to be cheaper to replace brake pads than it's going to be to replace your gearbox and your clutch. Yeah, if you're overusing your gearbox and your clutch like that, those are thousands and thousands of pounds worth of change if it breaks. thousands of pounds, yeah? So if you use your brake pads, that's going to be a cheaper way of slowing the car down, and then block gear changing once with the gearbox instead of all of those times, yeah, which is going to cause wear and tear, okay? So then you can talk about how it feels, the smoothness of it, how much easier it was, how you can put your brain power into the roundabout instead of faffing about with your gears. Make the student like the feel of it, the new way of doing it is like, oh, that is so much easier than what I was doing before. Isn't it great? And then you're like, yes, I've got them. They can now see that it's a good thing, and this is much more likely that the student is going to independently take it on, or at least try to, with a bit of prompting and a bit of help. If you imagine a little droplet of water going down the window pane when it's been raining a lot, all of the other water that connects to it will fall down the same line. It's going to be very hard without a tiny bit of gentle coaxing to get that new little drip to go the other way. You're going to have to coax it that way. And then if that way goes quicker down the thing to the water source at the bottom, then the water will be happy that it got to its friends quicker and sees the benefit, yeah? So my student today, just bringing it back to what actually happened today, I don't teach in an automatic, I teach in a geared car, okay? So I was in her automatic car. Sorry, it's getting late and I'm releasing this video really late. So I was in her automatic car. Now, I don't have a lot of experience at being a driving instructor teaching in an automatic car. So when I'm doing these lessons in these automatic cars, I find the control, especially like moving off, is like a burst of energy, or when we're doing a maneuver, there's bursts of energy. And because I don't have a lot of knowledge about driving an automatic car myself, I'm like always talking to my students, can we release the brake in a slightly different way? Can we just, instead of coming off the brake completely, can we soften that? And to be honest with you, if you're an automatic driver, you're going to have to help me in this video, because I drive a manual, and the control that we've got is beautiful. We can make it go very slowly, but in this automatic, it's like a burst of energy, which is like, it's really lumpy. Need some techno music going on, man. But it's just so light. It's so jerky. I get sick. My partner's got an EV, and it's like, it just makes me feel it makes me feel ill. And we did some research about it, and like there is like a thing about like people getting ill, like feeling ill, like motion sickness in these cars. I definitely do in my partner's EV, but it's a thing. It's a thing. We looked it up. It is definitely a thing. And that's weird, right? Because obviously I'm a driving instructor, I'm getting like driven around by people all the time. But another thing that my student was doing today, which I've noticed when I teach in automatic cars, is a lot of the time, these people who drive automatic cars will take corners too fast, be freaking out when they do the corner, and they're braking all the way around the corner. And it shouldn't really be like that, yeah? Like, if you tried to do that in a geared car, it would feel so out of control. And sometimes having a geared car for this particular fault is good, because if you did that, it would just feel so fast, so out of control. And if you did brake on the corner, it wouldn't feel right. But if you overbrake, you'd stall on the corner, or you'd coast around the corner. So this particular fault of going round a corner too fast in a, say for instance, you were in third going round a corner too fast in a geared car, that would feel so wrong. But when you're doing it in an automatic, and I've seen it quite a few times with students, they'll be going too fast around the corner and braking around the corner, which isn't really correct. So I was trying to say to my student, we need to cut this corner up into sections. There's like a long bit, which is the straight bit, then the turn, and then the straight bit again after the turn. So you've got a straight bit, which is section 1, then the turny bit, which is section 2, and then section 3 is another straight bit. Ideally, to have awesome control, we should be doing all of our speed reduction on the straight line. when we go round the bend, we shouldn't really be like interacting with our speed really when we're going around that bend. Not really. There should just be just a gentle like going around the corner with what the car's got in it, and then when you get to section 3, which is the straight bit again, or just at the end of section 2, you can accelerate. I've made videos about it. So I am not an automatic instructor, but this seems to be a big deal. And if I am going to be an automatic instructor, which makes me want to cry, but the world is going that way. Oh man, it makes me so depressed, man. I just don't want to do it. But like, if I was an automatic instructor now, I'd be getting my, I nearly said children then. I'd getting my students to go like, I'd slow on approach, and then more control going around the corner. We don't want to brake on the corner going around the corner. If you think of a Formula One driver, if he gets that wrong and brakes around the corner at the wrong time, he's going to spin out on his Formula One car. He needs to get that absolutely flipping perfect. He needs to brake up to on the straight line. He needs to brake, and then he needs to have a tiny bit of coming off the gas at that point, and then he needs to accelerate away. Now obviously he's probably doing left foot braking, which we would never do in our car. No. But he would time that absolutely flipping perfectly, braking on the straight. Then we would come off, and then as he's leaving the turn, he would accelerate away. And any incorrect use there of his brake at the wrong time, he would spin out. Now, I'm not saying that we're trying to be like a racing car driver, but I'm trying to make you understand about how we should be doing this. We shouldn't be braking all the way around the corner. If you visualize a car going around the corner, you shouldn't be seeing its brake lights all the way around the corner. Yeah. I mean, you can. I understand that you can. It's like the knife and fork analogy. You can feed yourself in this way, but it's not completely technically correct. And the reason why you can see that is because in a geared car, you would not be able to do that. It would be absolutely out of control if you did that. And you'd probably stall on the corner if you got your braking incorrect. You brake in a straight line. I've made videos about it. I've made entire videos about this, and I've broken it down and done long form videos. They're in the dark if you want to go and find them. I do it in the dark. I can't remember why I did it in the dark. I think somebody asked for like country road driving at night. So I was explaining how you sort out all your speed on approach in the straight line. Then you change down to the lower gear for the bend on the straight, and then you go off brake and then clutch up. So you've got the gear engaged. You go round the corner with lifting the clutch up so you're not coasting, and then when you're exiting the bend, you use your gas. So there's not braking on the corner. The gear is involved. Now listen, I'm not an automatic instructor, so if I need to be corrected here, then fine, correct me, auto instructor, that's fine. But I'm finding that these people are braking around the corner and they're all seeming to do it, and it doesn't feel right. It feels wrong. It feels out of control, braking on the corner. I don't know how I feel about it. Because I've been a manual driving instructor for 23 years, that don't feel right. So when I was teaching my student today in her auto and slowing down on the straight to go round the corner, when we did it correctly, in my opinion, yeah, she was like, oh, that feels really smooth and nice. And I was like, oh my God, totally agree with you. It's like galaxy smooth chocolate. You're going around that corner like a total legend now. Like, you know, you're at a safe speed to be able to see what's around the corner for pedestrians, for parked cars. Your approach has been skilled and excellent, and it feels right. And when she did it the way that I wanted her to do it, it was gorgeous. And she agreed with me. Oh, that feels nice. So I need to continue doing that with her. That feels nice. That feels good. I see the benefit in it. I see that I feel good. I feel that the car is good. I feel like my position is good. Yeah, because her position was wide a lot of the time because she's going too fast. If you're going too fast, your position will suffer. This will happen on turns if you're going too fast, and this will happen at roundabouts. If you're going too fast, you are definitely going to have a bad position on the roundabout. You might be safe by looking to the right at the roundabout, but you'll be all over the place. You'll straight line the roundabout. I had somebody get 2 minors for that the other day in Gloucester. He didn't fail, but he was straight lining the roundabout. He was in the left lane and then going straight across. That can be dangerous. You need to keep to the left so you don't straight line. It could be that he was going too fast. I didn't sit in his exam. He passed first time. But it could very well be that he's going too fast. So the point of this video, there's been loads of things that I've said in this video which I hope are useful for you. Yeah. But the point of this video is, if you are changing something, see the benefit in the new thing. Understand, ask questions. Why is it better? What's the point? How is that better? For me, the control of my car, the wear and tear on my car, the people behind me, the pedestrians, maybe the other road users. How is it good to do it this new way? What are the benefits? If you can feel the benefits, that is a very, very, very strong pull to do it in the correct way. Yeah. Now, on the flip side of that, if you can find disgust in things that you don't want, that is the remedy for getting rid of what you don't want, right? So see the benefit in the things that you do want and see the disgust in the things that you don't want. Yeah. So if you have been flinging yourself around the corner, and you know, maybe you could be like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I used to do that. So dangerous for like the little kid that could have been going around the corner with his mum, or like, you know, if you can see the like almost like the disgust, because you would, that's how you get rid of things in your like private life. If you don't want something, you see the disgust. So try and maybe like shove a bit of that in, like, oh, I can't believe that I used to do that. That's so dangerous. Oh my gosh, you know, that kind of thing. All right, guys. Oh my God, I've been rabbiting on for like 17 minutes. I hope that this information has helped you, and I'll see you on the next video.